Mais oui, mon petit déjeuner. Bienvenue à Genève-Raider, en Cherbourg, en France. Wouldn't it be great if you could do a whole vlog in French? Where you could put on every single atrocious cliche in the book and just combine them into one really dreadful movie. So here we are, we're in Cherbourg. It's going to be my first stop in what is to be a leisurely ride around France, he says. We'll see how that works out. The idea is to take 3 days to get down to the French Pyrenees. So we'll be stopping off at a place near Orléans, and hopefully we go down to Millau, and from Millau, Carcassonne, and from Carcassonne we're going to be into the French Pyrenees. And from then on, it's going to be making the same journey up through the west coast, through Tarbes, through Bordeaux, and then one other place. I haven't decided yet, we'll come to that. But here we are, in France, we'll see how we get on. I'll speak to you later. Right, so that was Cherbourg, everyone. And we're leaving on a bit of a grey day. Nothing wrong in that. It could be an awful lot worse. But it was a decent stay here. It served its purpose. What I wanted to do was just break down the journey. The last thing I wanted to do was get up at 5 in the morning, rush to a ferry, spend 4 or 5 hours on a ferry, and then go tear arsing off on the other side. You want to take your time. Give yourself some space. Enjoy it a little. It's not a race, it's not something to be achieved, it's just something to do. And Cherbourg was just great for that. Didn't need to be anything more. Now, have we learnt anything from this? Well, yeah, we have. We've learnt a stack. We've learnt that if you're going to be staying at a HI hostel, find out what time it opens. Because I got here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it never opened until 6. Now, it wasn't the end of the world. You know, I'm very happy to sit outside in a cafe and watch the world go by. That's not a bad thing at all. But it's not the way you want to spend your time if you've only got 1 day here. Anything else? Well, yeah. The VFR, for all its majesty, doesn't like having a tent slung on the side in a side pannier. Notice when I pulled up, it was actually pushing the bodywork, like cinching it together in such a way that the 4 panels at the back are actually coming undone. And after 19 years, I guess it's a little bit tired now, but I had to repack the bag, get the tent out separately, carry it on the back rather than on the side. And that seems to be a lot better. Anything else? Well, yeah, and this comes from, well, not local knowledge, but certainly from knowledge of hostels. I did the hostel life for 5 years. And I know that if you turn up to a hostel in any shoulder season, by that I mean beginning of March up until the end of April, or September through to Christmas basically, then these hostels, especially midweek, are going to be empty. Now, not entirely empty, you don't want them entirely empty, but I just stayed at a 72 bed hostel and there were 7 people there. Admittedly, half of those were German, but what it meant was, in my dorm I pretty much got my own space. Now this is a bit of a bonus because the hostel's €19. It's actually no more to stay at that hostel than it is to go to a campsite. And with a campsite you have that faff of unpacking everything and getting comfortable, and you don't have that secure block building. You don't always have the ability to use the showers. It can be pretty miserable if the weather's not good either. Most of all, in a hostel you get a decent bed, or at least decent compared to camping. Camping, for as much as I try to make of it, is always a compromise. It's never, if ever, going to be as good as having a proper mattress and a proper bed sheet and a proper pillow. It's always going to be space and weight compromise. So yeah, for the price of a campsite, I got a hostel bed, and as it turned out, my own room, because no one else was staying in it. And that's worth something to me. I think that's worth, yeah, it's worth knowing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head off to a place called Vierzon. Vierzon is a little further south than Orléans. It says 278 miles away, and we see how we get on with that. So take care everybody, and I'll see you in Vierzon. Tell you now, I've got no idea where I am. This is what happens when you put into your sat nav fastest route, and you think it's going to take you on all the motorways and all the A roads and all the direct stuff, but it's not. It takes all the back roads, and I'm in I don't know where I am, to be honest. Caen, and it's about 12:30 in the afternoon. My sat nav says I've got another 4 hours of riding until I get to Vierzon. So I think I just might stop here and have something to eat. So there we go, that was Vierzon. And it was it's a pretty little place, which I seem to see a lot around here. But I reckon a day, or as it turned out half a day, was about all it needed. It was only a stop to get to somewhere else, so So now we're off to Millau, and we're going to take the peage, we're going to take the highway, the toll routes. And really this is because I'm getting into most places about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and frankly I just want a bit more time to relax. It was 7 hours riding yesterday. This shortest route idea really wasn't the greatest idea in the world, because you went on the equivalent of the UK B and, as it turns out, C roads, which are pretty and interesting and exciting and quaint and all that for about 50 miles, and then after that it's a pain in the arse and you just want to be somewhere. So I'm going to get the peage and hopefully get into Millau about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, what have we learned from yesterday? Well, we learned a number of things, I guess. We learned that it's always good to pack stuff away in the same place every time. That way you don't turf out half your kit looking for a USB charger or a battery charger, or you can pack away your trainers and your jeans last thing of all, because that's the last thing you're going to be wearing before you put your leathers on, and they're going to be the first things you're going to wear when you pull up at a place and get all your leathers off. So it's little stuff like that. We learnt that staggeringly after 12 years my waterproofs are still waterproof. I was absolutely made up about that. We rode in the rain, well, I rode in the rain for about 90 minutes yesterday. It was just that nasty drizzle that you get. And I was always hoping it was going to get better and better and better, and it never did. And then you can feel that seepage coming through the leathers. You feel it coming through your gloves, you feel it coming onto your shoulders. And then you're worried about how wet you're getting, or everything but your riding, which is what you should be worried about. And then it was time to pull over, get my waterproofs on, and once my waterproofs were on, I felt an awful lot better about what it was I was going to do for the next 5.5 hours. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for the opportunity, of course, every time. And I'm grateful for the sunshine, because I learnt that I really don't enjoy riding in the rain. I'll do it, but it's not a choice. It's just something I do. Right, motorway, 500 metres. Let's plug myself into some music. I'll speak to you people a little later. Here we go everybody, we're in Millau at the moment. Millau in the shadow of the Millau Viaduct, which is kind of like the modern incarnation of the Golden Gate Bridge. Really got a serious thing to believe it. It's something like 350 metres from the bottom of the gorge to the actual span of the bridge. It's really quite something. So we're in a campsite just outside of town, just about to have something to eat, and then we're heading off to Carcassonne tomorrow. And we're going to stay in Carcassonne for a day. We'll get another look at that. I was there 10 years ago when I was travelling around France, and it was one of the most astonishing places I'd seen at the time. I want to know if that magic's still there. And yeah, we'll have a little look at that before we head on to Tarbes and the French Pyrenees. As for the bike's running absolutely great. I'm looking at it right now. No bike after 20 years deserves to be this good still. It's absolutely faultless, hasn't missed a beat. So I'm going to have something to eat, and I'm going to catch up with you sometime later. Take care everyone.
And I'd give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go home right now. And all I could taste is this moment. And all I can breathe is your light. And sooner or later it's over. I just don't wanna miss you tonight. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. And you can't fight the tears that ain't coming, all the moment of truth in your lies. When everything feels like the movies, yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am.
Alright, so here we go. This would have been the main gate I walked through about 10 years ago. And it seems to be much more the tourist attraction there, not just an attraction but an exhibition centre. And I don't know if it's the years of Dungeons and Dragons that kind of get me on this. This is the moat, sadly empty, but you can see that must be a good 18 feet deep at its deepest point. So just going through the outer ramparts, the main gate, a tourist party going on, and you can see here the inner and outer walls. Now, like I say, I've got my hostel in here, of all places in here. So here we go, this is going up the main road to the hostel. Now, 1300 years ago, I'm sure this moved to the sound of plate mail and broadswords, but now it seems to be moving to the sound of flip-flops, because it's an entire tourist haven full of people who are using anything but French as their first language. But it still holds its charm, I think, anyway. It's just more commercial now. And you've got to expect that. Even at the end of September, it's still, well, it was 32 degrees yesterday. It's still full of people, the restaurants still bounce in the evening. They do let some cars in here, but not so many, thankfully. There we go, that's the entrance to the chateau. And right here is the hostel, Auberge de Jeunesse. I'm sure I pronounced that entirely wrong. So that's Carcassonne. Now I've got a quick 3.5 hour ride to Tarbes. So I'll see you all then. Right, things that we're grateful for today. Well, having the opportunity to see this place again, that's quite something. It still holds up. It's still impressive. I'm glad I did this. Grateful for the hostel, €19 a night. It's a no-brainer, really. I know camping gets you out of the spot, but so far the Jurassic Run aside, that spot has only occurred once so far. And for that one time, I'm carrying a stack of gear that really, next time I think I could do without. And at one time I did use it at the campsite. The campsite was €14. Well, you know, for €5 more, you don't have to take the gear. You get a proper bed. You get all the other stuff like the Wi-Fi and the showers and the amenities. And also, in September, although it's beautiful during the days, it's dewy in the mornings. And when I packed all my camping gear away, it was going away wet and it was going away muddy, which meant it made every other bit of my kit muddy, including the bike. So I don't know about the camping next time. To be honest, I think you could do this perfectly well just using hostels. So far I've stayed in Cherbourg, Vierzon, here, and there's going to be Tarbes and Caen. And there hasn't been more than a dozen people in any of them. Right, Satnav, you've found your route. Right, let's see if we can get this bike off its side stand, centre stand. Oop. Nope. There we go. Right, let's see where it takes me. Right then. But I mean, wow, what a place Carcassonne is. And it's become hugely touristy since I was last there. But I guess you've got to expect that. Can you see that? Bye bye Carcassonne, it's been a pleasure. Now, the small matter of the French Pyrenees.
And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. To be broken, I just want you to know who I am. I just want you to know who I am. I just want you to know who I am. I just want you to know who I am.
Alright, here we go. So we're following Kevin today. Kevin and his lovely wife Abby, they run the Pyrenees Motorcycle Tours. So they're situated about, I don't know, 10-15 kilometres south of Tarbes. And we're going for a little run into the mountains. Now, we'll see how our luck is. If the weather's anything to go by, then it's going to be a glorious day. There we go. And that's the Pyrenees for you. Good Lord, take a look at that. Thankfully, we won't be going to the top. but I dare say we're going to get a good look around it. So the way it's been explained to me is that when you're driving on these D roads, you've got two main speed limits. You've got 50 kilometres an hour, normally designated by the name of the town. So you see the name of the town, you know it's a 50 km/h sign. And then when you get out the other side of the town, you'll see the name of the town with a line through it, and then it becomes 90 kilometres an hour. And if there's any deviation from that, like a 70 kilometres or 30 kilometres, then there'll be a sign telling you that as well. Apparently, no one sticks to the 30 km/h sign. That's like our equivalent of 20. You can see Kevin looking to his right there. That's because the French, in all of their wisdom, have got something called priorité à droit, which basically means anyone emerging from the right hand side can just pull out in front of us. It's absolutely nuts. It's been around for eons, and for some strange good awful reason, no one has contested it. Now, I've come across this before when I was in France in 2014, and the annoyance is, as far as I can tell, is that some people stick to it and some people don't. So you've got no real assertion that if you see a car arrive there, they're going to pull out or not. Some do, some don't. You just got to be ready all the time. Whatever you do, don't leave it down to the previous car's decision to see what the next one does. See him looking to his right again. There you go. Line through the town, yellow triangle, yellow square, and then we can get up to speed. You can see him looking for the overtake. Just because he can, it doesn't mean I can, but we have a little look, see what's on. He might go for this one. There he goes. What do we got? That'll do. And we're back down to 70. Now he's got a 100-mile loop worked out for us. But he's going to be curious because I've only got 60 miles left in my tank. But we'll see how we get on. And this is basically where the day is going to go. So I'm going to stop waffling and hopefully let the video do my talking. At the very, very least, even if I just wobble from corner to corner, it's a very pretty place and it's a beautiful day. Stick around.
Smile
What's the name of this pass, Kevin?
Tourmalet.
It's
The Tourmalet.
the Tourmalet.
Tourmalet. This is that one that I said they usually do on their tour.
Okay. And this is the one that's the one that's always on the Tour de France.
Yeah, nearly always, yeah. This is the one.
Wow. Not a bad life, is it?
Not at all. Not at all.
Get a look at that. I wonder how the cyclists feel when they get over the top of that and they start heading down. A sense of relief. You know, I couldn't help but think to myself, thank fuck for that. That's all I could think to myself if I was on a bicycle. Oh, I feel for you, mate. Slippery road, 1 kilometre. No shit, Sherlock. And I've got to stop feeling the need to think I've got to keep up with Kevin and just ride and do your ride, however cautious or slow or that may be. But you know what, I mean, this is what it was all about. This is the whole point about riding to the French Pyrenees. You know, sure, I'm going to see my friend in Bordeaux, and that's great as well, you know, never knock that. But kind of, well, while I'm down here, I should do this as well. And that's what I say, that's what I mean when I say that this isn't about the excitement or the thrill or the adrenaline rush, this is about the experience. Yeah, it might be a bit of a hollow claim if I turn around and people say, oh yeah, I've rode the French Pyrenees. I rode it at about 20 miles an hour, but I rode it. And I don't want it to be another string to my bow or feather to my cap or anything like that. Although I dare say there's going to be some glib times when I treat it like this. But more than anything, I just want to do it. More than anything. Just to know. And look at this. Oh boy. And I've been through some nice countryside so far on this journey. I've been through Languedoc National Park, and I've been over the top of a couple of the cols, in and out of Carcassonne, which is a lot of fun. And I'm sure if I went into the Alps and did Stelvio or Glockenstiel Pass, whatever it's called, I mean, they're all spectacular in their own right. But you cannot beat a mountain pass going down into a valley with a mountain range in front for a good smackability factor. Temperature's good, which is nice. Good fuel, no oil light. Just enjoy it, Paul. Well, wasn't that a lovely stay? So that's Abby and Kevin down at Pyrenees Motorcycle Tours. And what they've done is they've basically opened their home up as all the best B&Bs and private hotels do. And they make it a real occasion. You know, it's more than a hotel, it's more than a B&B. You actually take part in their lifestyle. And you get a lot of good information from them if you was thinking about doing anything similar, which always crosses my mind. And Kevin was very patient. For 6 hours he took me out yesterday and waited for me to wobble from corner to corner in that way that only I can. And smiled through it. It reminded me time and again it was my ride, it's not his, and this is what you've paid for, and you do a good job of it. And yeah, it's their first season, filling some pretty big shoes as far as I can gather, and I wish them the very best of luck with it. That's Bordeaux over, that's Pyrenees Motorcycle Tours over, and they're off to Tarbes. And you don't see that every day. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Well, you have to remind yourself that this is a Sunday, and this is what they do in France on Sundays. Is that a car show? I guess. A car show and a boot fair. Oh, Citroen traction up ahead. And the yellow car looked like an Alpina. Or an Alpine rather, not Alpina. Is that an Alpine? I only caught a glimpse of it. Look at that. Little Alpine, fabulous. Right, so basically, the youth hostel at Tarbes never turned out as expected. It seemed to be one of these affiliate hostels, and it was probably more of a boarding house or a juvenile holding station by the looks of some of those people. And there was no online booking. I never had the confidence to actually phone them up and speak to them. I can ask for what I want. I don't necessarily always understand the answer. So if I phone them up and I ask for a bedroom for the night, and they say, well, we're not really a hostel, we're a boarding house, that's not the answer I'm expecting, so I don't understand the answer. So I just turned up on a whim, which is probably my fault. And it was on a Sunday. I got there at 10:30, it didn't open till 12. And by the time it opened, the lady explained that I can't stay there. It was pouring with rain, and I just found a budget hotel, to be perfectly honest. So there's a chain of hotels in France called Nex, and I put myself in one of those for €55 a night, plus the breakfast. So it's about 3 times the cost, but it gets you out of a spot, especially if it's pouring down with rain. It's the last thing you want. And to be honest, I spent a very nice time there. It was a nice room, which with all my luggage, and I suppose the look of the hostel boarding house and no padlock, I'm really quite pleased that I had my own space, and more importantly my luggage had its own space. And then when it stopped raining at about 6 o'clock, I had a quick look round Tarbes, Now, Tarbes to me seems like a perfectly nice high street town. In comparison to the other place I've been, I wouldn't say it's the most attractive. But like many of these places, you don't really want the town to necessarily be attractive. You want the outskirts to be attractive, where you hope to live, and then just use the amenities of the town and just dart in and out. That's exactly what I do up in Cumbria, and if I had the opportunity, that's what I'd do here. That's Tarbes done, and now we're off to Bordeaux. We've got 150 miles, give or take, and we'll do the same as before. We'll keep off motorways, we'll keep off toll roads, which means going through that bloody 90, 70, 50, 30 kilometres an hour over the speed humps, 30, 50, 70, 90 kilometres an hour. So it's going to take me, it says, about 3.5 hours. So be it. Right then, let's see how we get on today. Frankly, I'm just glad it stopped raining. Look a bit more familiar. So here we are in the centre of Bordeaux, and I'm about 2 miles from my destination, and it's a beautiful city, it really is, especially on a day like this. We are approaching the end of September, it's 24 degrees, and I'll take this all day long. Look at this, I've never really noticed before, it's got some stunning architecture here. You know, I'm always, every time I come here, I'm always looking at or for someone else. And they've got a real enjoyment of life. I mean, you can just see to my right, they've got lots of walking lanes and cycle lanes. They really make the most of this river. Now I'm a little bit early, and by a little bit I mean about 3 hours. My friend's still at work, so what I'm going to do is find a place to park up fairly close to her apartment and just grab myself a coffee, and that seems like an excellent idea. Okay, so here we are in Bordeaux with the magnificent Palace de What's-His-Face, which I'm sure isn't what its real name is, and if I knew its real name I would say it wrong, but this is basically what it's got here, and it's not too shabby. We have an extremely agreeable 25-26 degrees I suppose, and I'm going to be here for about the next 2 or 3 days. Yeah, they're excited. Yeah, I'll be sticking around for the next 2 or 3 days. So, take care everyone. I'll speak to you soon.
With broken hearts, like you do, but it's alright. Thrills will fade. We've had some good laughs on the way. Thank you for coming along.
That is an adventure right there. I'll leave behind some of my favourite people in the world. Not for the first time, and it never gets easier. Not once. Myself and Celine, we've known each other for 5 years now. We met when we was travelling in India, and it's been a colourful adventure so far. And you look at Bordeaux on this late September day, 29th of September. This time last year I was in the Scottish Highlands. It was 16 degrees, and that was a good day. You know, that was a rarity. Today it's 30 degrees, and this would appear to be absolutely normal. And there's a lifestyle here that appeals. There's something here that is very, very good indeed. So we see what happens in the future. Never say never. It might happen one day. Ellie. Turn right, then hit the motorway. Then I think that's where I'll leave you guys. Take it easy, everyone. I'll speak to you in Caen. Right, so here we go. Now, I don't know how the video is going to perform because I've never taken video at night before, or even early in the morning. So let's see how we get on. What am I grateful for today? What am I grateful for today? Well, I'm grateful that it's dry, because being in northern France now, it's only about 12 degrees. I don't have a pinlock visor, I don't have a fog shield, and if I had to have my visor down, it's a fairly safe bet I wouldn't be able to see a damn thing. And I checked all the weather forecasts, and it's expected to be 14 degrees in Portsmouth, which means it's likely to be about 12 degrees in Cumbria, which is bizarre because yesterday it was 30 degrees in Bordeaux, and that takes a bit of getting used to, that does, I can tell you. And this looks like the main road. Right, let's see how we get on. Speak to you in a bit. Which one is it? Oh, you're joking. Well, will you look at that? That is gorgeous, mate. That is absolutely spot on.
The spark was leaking.
The what?
The spark was leaking, so it got on our tents.
Yeah, no, I heard about that. Yeah, mate. Let's get this up on your driveway.
Stay safe.
Shall do. Take care. I'll see you later. Right, take care. So what are we grateful for today? Well, it goes without saying, good friends. I've known John for about 35 years now. We were friends at school. We've seen each other through all through each other's lives. We played the volleyball tournaments together. I saw him get married. I saw him start his beautiful family. And after all these years he still feeds me, which is wonderful. You think he would have learnt by now. The last fuel stop and 15 miles from Penrith.
Let's bring it all home.
And what have we learnt from our 10 days of riding around France? Well, we learned that whatever we might think of the French, all jesting aside, it's a beautiful country with a marvellous sense of space. You gotta love it for that. I get the same feeling up here, but the problem is it was 30 degrees in Bordeaux and it's about 12 here, and they're only 3 days apart, so starting to think a little bit more about maybe ended up there. Anything else? Yep. Keep off the auto routes. I did that for the best part. But on the way back, when I did the mad rush from Bordeaux to Caen, I did the péage. And yeah, just know France. I can fly return from Luton to Bordeaux for 49 euros. But you seem to think it's okay to charge me 54 euros in tolls. Not good, France. Not good at all. Not cool. Not clever, nothing.
Turn around when possible, then turn left.
Ah. And there we go. That is that. I've got no idea if that's a weed or a flower. We'll find out tomorrow. Right, that's me everyone. Take care and I'll speak to you all soon.